Morning, everybody. Hope everybody has a good cup of coffee. I certainly do. It is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful morning, and oh my gosh, yesterday was just an awesome day. It was so full of fun and connection and family, and at the end of the day, I got the opportunity to work with just three amazing clients of mine, all unique in their own right for sure. And of course, this morning I wake up and I was just laying in bed doing my gratitudes and thinking about everything and putting together some different workshop ideas in my head and coaching opportunities. I definitely am like, I'm very, very excited about some of the stuff that just has come in over the last couple days to me, and that I'm going to be working on here, and then of course getting out to everybody. But hey, morning Ray, morning Nick. As I was laying there this morning, I was just like, what are you going to talk about? Unconscious coffee and all that kind of stuff. And I got up and I was making my coffee and just now and made breakfast and did all that kind of stuff. But so this isn't necessarily as fresh as it could be, as like spontaneous where I've only been awake for 5 minutes. No, I've been awake for hours. But some of the stuff that kind of came up for me over the last little bit here was really about destiny, like a feeling that you have a destiny. And some people feel that way, and some people are just consistently lost in their life and don't know what path to take, what direction to move. I'm a pretty firm believer that we all have what we consider a destiny. I don't know if it's necessarily what you would say, like destiny or anything, but just as real, true calling towards something. And that can be a calling towards, I typically look at it as an art. And that does not mean that we are painters or singers or dancers or, sculptors or creators in that way, but that we all are creators. We all have something inside of us to give, and that is that path that calls at us. So it can be something that, I always tell people, I'm like, truly, it is a Joseph Campbell thing here of follow your bliss. And I encourage anybody who follows me to explore Joseph Campbell, to really just go and explore that work, because it is about following your bliss. It is about following your heart, your soul, getting into that alignment and letting things awaken to you. But as we travel down this path of what I'm just going to proclaim in this moment as the destiny card path, right? So it's like somebody that's just been given, like, this is what is given to us, the card that life has given you of your destiny. And you might feel very, very called towards something. And this is more of a pulling, not a pushing. Big, big difference. You want it to feel like it is a pull, like you're being pulled towards it. You can't resist it. It's like that person, and then we've all, I think, had this moment where we've seen somebody across a room, or we've met somebody someplace, or maybe it's just even that we've gone out on a date with them or something, and it's not always romantic, but there is this call to go over, to talk to somebody, to really explore this person. Like, we can't not go explore that person. And there's this feeling that comes up inside of you in those moments when you see somebody, you're like, I don't know what it is, but I really feel like I need to go and explore that. I really feel like I need to go and talk to that person. That's that pulling. That's that you're being drawn to it. Your soul's saying, pay attention, go that direction, versus doing something that we feel like we should be doing for whatever reason it might be. We feel like, hey, I really need to do this. This is exactly like, really get in there, and I have to do this. I have to do that. Have to. And that's that pushing where we're like, I feel like I really have to do it. Well, that have to, in the negative aspect, is the push. And it's perfect for what it serves. It teaches us those things that we push ourselves on, those things that we try to make happen, but for whatever reason, they won't happen for us. And it just feels like just complete agony almost of just like, man, we're really working hard, but it's never coming through. And then we start to feel fatigued and overwhelmed and maybe even anxiety ridden or depressed or angry, bitter around these things, right? So we push, and we give it everything. And we're like, no, I'm really in on it. I'm really there. My heart, my soul really is a yes. If you have something like that that's going on in your life, I encourage you right now to just stop for a second and say, is that true? Is that true that my whole heart and soul is in on this? Or am I wanting my whole heart and soul in on it? And I'm trying to make it happen because of blah, 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 fill in the blank, right? If you come back with, no, I'm trying to make this happen, it might answer why some things are not moving. And we do this in our business, of course, with our finances and stuff. We go out, we start a business, we do it for the money potential, not because it is what our soul wants to express. And we see the dollar signs and all of that. And then it just doesn't work because we're really not all the way in on it. We do it in relationships. We think that we need to be in a relationship when we're really not ready for the relationship. We do it with, like our health and our fitness. And we're like, no, I'm going to go do this and I'm going to go do that. We put ourselves on these crazy diets and crazy exercise programs, and we struggle and we push, but it actually depletes us more than it does feed us. And we don't get the results, because ultimately, what are we going for? We're going for the results, the result of that freedom, the result of the feeling good, the result of the happiness, the joy, the love, the expression that we get to have in that. And when we don't get those results, it's even more depleting, right? And here's the thing, if you're getting depleted at a great big level like that and it's just consistent, then you're definitely, most certainly not on your destiny path. But what you have going on is something that is teaching you vital lessons. And these lessons are things that you really, really need to learn so that you can find your destiny path, so that you can get on it, and so that you have all the skills to really make it happen for yourself. Okay? That's a really big bee that just flew by. When we have those things and we're learning from them, I think we all do it. As a coach, I have been through the coaching gamut, you could say. Like, I have done all this kind of coaching. Years and years ago, I was doing dream interpretation coaching because I went and I studied underneath Denise Lynn when she was still up in Washington. And I studied dream interpretation, and I studied all the spiritual stuff. And I can read a dream like no other. I have a skill set for it. I really do. It's fun. It's playful. I believe in the messages that we get from our dream life. And I did that for a few years, and I helped some people, but I really couldn't get anything going. And then in my personal life, in my marriage, my husband started having health problems back then. And I blamed myself because I was a stay-at-home mom. I was the one that cooked. I was the one that shopped. And I blamed his health issues on me not doing what I needed to nutritionally for the family. Although it was not my fault, he was the one who was off eating fast food and not exercising and not doing the things that he needed to do for his own health and well-being. Back then, I was young and didn't quite understand all those concepts. Hey, morning Darren, morning Marcus, Tom, Andy. So when I did that, I moved from dream interpretation coaching. I went and I got nutritional certifications, and I studied underneath some amazing people and ended up writing some books with people like Dr. Joseph Mercola, and did all this different stuff where I really focused in on the health and well-being of our children. And I got published, and I learned a ton, and I did talks, and I networked with some amazing people, and it was amazing, it was passionate, but then it just wasn't feeding me quite right. Morning, Crystal. Morning, Lisa. And that kind of opened me up and branched me into other areas, because guess what? In the midst of all my health and nutrition, my health crashed. There I was, the healthiest that I could be, totally fit, eating right, doing everything right, like really blowing and going, and I developed Crohn's. And if anybody is familiar with Crohn's, it is nasty. It wipes your butt out. Like, you can't get out of bed. You just want to curl up in a ball, and it feels like an atomic warfare is going on inside your body, and somebody's just stabbing your gut and everything. And it's just like it's very, very painful and very, very fatiguing. And I found myself just going through a couple of years of this misery. And the more I focused in on trying to fix the problem and trying to heal that problem, the worse the problem became, actually, because I was acting out of fear. I was acting out of all this different stuff, which led me down a whole new path. And I realized that the one area of my life that I had not worked on, I had done all this spiritual work. I had learned, became a Reiki master. I done, Christian coaching. I had all the dream interpretation. I had nutritional certification, written books, like great resume of stuff and knowledge and education and all that stuff, and done all this self-growth, and Tony Robbins and Jim Rohn and John Maxwell, and you name it, been there, done it, Landmark, the whole gamut of stuff. And here I was, sick as a dog, and sore and in pain and depressed. And it threw me into a 2-year deep, dark depression where the only thing that got me out of my bed was my children, until one day that wasn't even really working for me. And 2 things happened. I had a guardian angel from my past, a near and dear friend, come into the picture and kind of like smack me around mentally, emotionally. I was like, get your head out of your butt right now. You're strong. You can do this. You have so much more to give this planet, to your life is, it's calling you. Like, get out of the stuff that you're putting yourself in. And he was able to do that for me. And then I also realized that I had not, the one area that I was shunning and that I was avoiding was my sexual aspects, my divine feminine energy, and just anything that was around the words turn on or orgasm or intimacy, vulnerability, surrender, all that kind of stuff, which led me back to my tantra from eons before. And I went and I dug up a book that I had sitting on my shelf for like 15-20 years. And I read it again, and I proclaimed, this is what I need to heal. I need to heal the programs, the shame, the guilt, the emotions that I have stored in my body. I need to release this. And it sent me down this sexual healing path, as I'll call it, with this tantric influence to it. So I did a massive amount. And you know what? Here I was, sick as a dog with this Crohn's for going on like 3 years at that point, where I was ebbing and flowing, and it was dictating my life. And being a very holistic based person and not wanting to take medications and surgeries and all that kind of stuff, I really focused in on my nutrition and all of that. And I knew that there was an emotional connection to this Crohn's stuff. I just knew it. I knew it. And I went in, I did this sexual healing, and I kid you not, within less than 3 months of working on releasing this stuff and healing shame programs and guilt programs and just getting right with that, it was okay that I was a sexual being. It was okay that I experienced turn on in multiple ways. It was okay that I wanted different things. The Crohn's, 3 months into this, gone almost. Like, it was like 98% gone, and it now had become where it wasn't even showing up in my system unless I denied myself my truth. And I realized that it was messaging me around, like, hey, this is not name of book. Lisa, what book are you talking about? And I'll put it on here as soon as I get off. I'll absolutely put name of a book on here for you. Just let me know which book you're talking about. So I realized that, because I mentioned a couple books, I don't know where you came in. But I realized in that moment that, this is all like, it's impacting itself. Well, as most healers, coaches, okay, yeah, I'll get you on that. It's The Art of Sexual Ecstasy by Margot Anand, I believe is the title of it. It's Margot Anand, but I believe it's The Art of Sexual Healing is that one, or Sexual Ecstasy. Sorry, Sexual Ecstasy. And anyways, so, and I'll put it in the links here for you in just a little bit after I get off. I'll come back and do that so that everybody has it as well. So yeah, so as a lot of us coaches, we get our starts, and healers, practitioners, we get our starts from, doing the work ourselves and having this life-changing event happen and everything. And that's kind of like, what is that? I've come to learn that as that's my soul leading me down this path of destiny. So back to that destiny card thing, right? So it's like, no, this happened to teach me this, and this happened to teach me this, and this happened to open me up to this, and to bring me in contact with this, and to I'm like, look at all the things that I learned over the course of 15, 20 years that would open me up to this new path and this new healing. And as I was healing, then I naturally just wanted to also help touch other people's lives, because here, with all my education, with all the things that I had been through, I had not recognized some of this stuff within inside myself. And it took me only 3 months to basically heal stuff that I thought was not connected. Well, connected. And what I discovered very, very quickly, 90 days in, is that everything is connected. Everything is woven together. Truly, truly just woven together, and that we, in our denying of any particular area of our life, we also reap repercussions in other areas of our life. And we have to really work at healing all those areas, doing work, internal work, external work, around different things that are holding us back, our blind spots to our success, our thriving, our abundance in any particular area of our life. And it is really based in all areas of life. When we compartmentalize things, we segregate and separate everything that we really should not be, and we need to look at it as a whole picture, not as this and then this and then this. So what did I do? I broke out and I started to do sex and relationship coaching, and I found myself, moving to a new state and having new people in my life and new coaching clients in my life and new friends in my life and everything new, transformation, right? All this different stuff. And I found myself completely changing my whole practice. So to go from what I was doing in health and healing work to moving into this sexual relationship intimacy realm, which was scary as can be, but at the same time exciting and exhilarating and healing. And I was gaining so much knowledge and everything. Fast forward now 11, 12 years of doing this, well, I would say over the last over the last like a solid 8, 9 years of really, really hard focus on sex and relationship healing. And then my soul says, nope, we're going that way, girl. And it's my soul speaking through other people, because through this process, it's always been other people coming to me and activating something that just felt so aligned to me that I could not deny it, that I was being called toward that too. And here I was with this beautiful group of people, a local tribe, and a growing online tribe, clients, VIP clients to me, all asking me to level up my business and to bring them something new. And so for the last 2 years, I've been trying to figure out how to merge my sex and relationship coaching practice, which I have really, really developed some beautiful material and content and coaching and help around, and also activate this entrepreneur business, social media understanding, marketing, and pulling back all these skills that I had learned back when I was, in sales and marketing and everything, and pulling that back in and sharing how do I do that. And the point of me sharing all of that with you, because that's where I'm at now, right? I have this entrepreneur, mompreneur, side hustle, teaching people how to have that, as I refer, fuck yes life, in all areas, and also be able to have that, like, that is what we're supposed to be. To live your purpose, let your light be seen, follow that destiny card, that calling, but also still have that little sexual component piece, because so many opportunities, coaching experiences, educations out there, trainings, tends to not want to deal with that little piece. And here's the thing, it's a vital piece to activating our abundance, our creative energy, everything. And I encourage anybody who follows me to, of course, read the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, which was written back in the 1930s, because chapter 11 is such a key component to it. And chapter 11 is all about sexual transmutation, and it pulls everything into place. And what Napoleon Hill discovered way back yonder was that the game changers, the visionaries, the people who really did these phenomenal things in our history, and still fast forward since that book, moving forward, all have a sexual component piece to their success. And it's all about tapping into that energy, okay, around that. So that's really where I've kind of come, is that there needs to be this play, there needs to be this seduction in our lives towards our abundance, towards our thriving, our success, the things that we want to have. We have to learn this, we have to heal this piece, because any area that we shut down and we don't heal and we block, then we can never grow past that. So we can never fully embrace ourselves and embody our full power as human beings if we deny any aspect of ourselves. And there you have it. There's my new coaching practice, right, over the last 2.5 years or so, where I've been at. So what I'm saying to you is that I've been hearing big time in dealing with a lot of my VIP clients right now, and different things that people have even messaged me, and it's just kind of come up, and I pay attention to that kind of stuff, is that I hear a lot of people just kind of in this transition, and like, I've got this going on, but it's really not working for me, and I'm scared to move. I'm scared to move this into something new, because I'm afraid that I'm going to lose something. I'm afraid that I'm going to step out of what I'm supposed to be doing. No, you can't step out of what you're supposed to be doing. If you're really being called towards something, or if you're really being called to, shut a doorway, is what it's going to feel like. Even though, I never shut a doorway on my coaching practice. I never shut a doorway on leveling up what I was offering to my clients, to my tribe. I never shut a doorway on my personal growth, my expansion. I kept leveling things up, but it felt like I was letting things go consistently. Well, much like most of us probably don't have that same group of high school friends in our life and that we had when we were 14, 15 years old. We may have a friend still from back then that we're just like, we still kind of go along with, but it's not like we're just hanging out with the same people. Relationships change. Everything is a relationship. There is nothing about our lives that's not relationship focused. We have a relationship with the people in our life. We have a relationship with our health. We have a relationship with money. We have a relationship with our business. We have a relationship with our spiritual aspects. We are relationship-based people. And the sooner that we can get a hold of that, the sooner we can understand that it's all about having healthy relationships, right? And that relationships evolve and grow, transform, and some we have to let go of. It does not mean that we are losing. It means that we are expanding. So really today, that destiny card, whether it is I could be talking to somebody that's looking at, like, should I get a divorce or not get a divorce? What does your heart and soul, like, what are you being called to? What are you being pulled towards versus what are you trying to push and make happen? And that's really the key. You've got to figure out if it's a push or if it's a pull. Because if it's a pull, then allow it. Lean into it. Just surrender to the pull and let that manifest the way it needs to. If it's a push, realize that you are acting out of a place of ego, out of a place of scarcity, fear, doubt, and you're trying to force something to happen. So in that forcing, you're actually strangling the life out of your energy, out of your vibration, and you're limiting yourself because you're doing this and you're trying to push it with all your might. And there's no reason to do that. There's absolutely no reason to do that. The things that are supposed to occur will come to you in grace and ease. Grace and ease. Morning, Leona. And it really is that you just have to move into that space. So I want you to ask yourself around anything, whether it is a relationship or your health or your work, your finances, whatever you feel like is just really tightening down and crushing you, and you can't seem to make happen no matter how hard you try to work it. And you're like, I'm really applying myself here. I'm really doing everything that I really need to be doing, and it just isn't going. It's not budging. Well, you got to get really familiar with the big bad word of surrender, and how you surrender is to tap into the knowing of, am I being pulled towards something new or pulled in this direction to do this, or am I pushing and crunching myself up and trying to make it happen? Okay, it really is that. So there you go. That's the whole destiny speech, I guess. Morning, Addison. I just want to really put that emphasis on that, because I think that that's the one thing that has really come through to me. And when I look at that whole path that I described earlier to you guys, all of it, as I was moving through it, I allowed myself to be pulled. I paid attention to the signs, you could say. I did my internal work. I did the self-mastery work to be able to feel into what my soul was calling me to do along that path. And as we transform and evolve into the people that we're supposed to be, and that evolution never stops. If you're focused on a stopping point, the stopping point is your death, and you still probably don't stop after that, because we don't know for certain anything past that, right? So, but for what we can know, that stopping point is that death point. That's the only stopping point that you got. Your evolution on understanding, on feeling, on experiencing, on growing, on creating is your whole lifetime. The question is, can you lean into that and allow it to emerge the way your soul wants it to, or are you going to constrict and try to force it to happen the way you think it should happen? So do you want to have a rough ride, or do you want to have a ride of ease and flow? Do you want to have a ride of scarcity and fear and doubt, where you're constantly suffocating yourself and taking life out of your sails? Or do you want to move in where there's ease, flow, and there's just like this opening that can happen where you can really truly experience and embrace it and just have things magically happen? Yesterday, I was talking to a beautiful client of mine. I'm going to tell you this one quick story because I think that it's very, very relevant for this. And then I'm going to share a couple announcements with you guys and then get off of here. But yesterday, I was talking with one of my VIP clients, and he was sharing with me he's got his corporate job, and number one, he sat down. It's been like 7 or 8 months since I've done a face-to-face with him, and he sits down and he says, number one, I want to tell you that working with you has been revolutionary to my life. And I was, he's like, you've helped me evolve into all of this. And then he shares with me that he's given himself a 6-month deadline on his 9-to-5 job that he's doing, because over the course of the last 7 or 8 months of implementing everything and doing the stuff, that he has almost tripled his income from his 9-to-5. So he has now he told me that it's like over $20,000 a month coming in from this side hustle that he has been building, and that it's come to a point that he's like, why am I giving this place over here 40 hours of my time when I can work 5, 6, 10 hours over here doing something that I love and that's playful, and that is making me 2 times plus, it's growing 2 times plus the salary that I'm making over here. So he tells me about that, but then he tells me about all of the stuff that happened. And he hit a point last year where the government came in and took everything, left him with about $900 a month to live on. they took all of his savings. They took all of his money, his salary money. They left him with about $900 a month. He had massive medical bills going on. He's putting 2 kids through college, and he pays for everything there. His house payment alone was like $2,500 a month. His car payment, everything. And here he is, he's sitting there with $900 a month. Morning, Megan. Morning, Lonnie and Brad. And he was like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Well, right there in that moment, something inside of him shifted and he surrendered. And at this point, his side hustle was just making him like piddling nothing, just a couple $100, not anything. It was just, he was just playing, right? He was just playing. Well, within 30 days, he is just playing. And what happened was that side hustle leveled up, and he was like, how am I going to make my house payment? And he looked, and all of a sudden there was just money in his bank from the side hustle. He was like, who's paying me? Like, what the heck's going on here? What the heck's going on? And he went, and it's another bill was due, and the money was just there. And then another bill was due, and the money was just there. And then the next month, he looks in, and the side hustle now doubled. It was like, oh, he needed his house payment. And he's like, well, maybe I have enough over here. Well, there's $5,000 sitting there now instead of $2,500. It was just like this magical influx of revenue that was just coming in. This money was just streaming in, and he was just doing what he wanted. And since then, it has now grown up to over $20,000 a month in activity, where he's going, all right, now what do I do? Like, oh my gosh, what do I do with this? Like, this is amazing. But the ticket is that he leaned into, he was being pulled this way. It was creative. It was playful. It felt good. There was ease around it. It was turning him on. It was exciting him when the money wasn't there. And he kept leaning into it and not worrying about it. And then he hit this point, but he had built just enough. And then he surrendered in. And he was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what to do here. I'm going to just let things kind of unwind the way they need to. And he realized that, he probably would have to let go of some stuff. He would probably have to change paths in different ways. He had opened up an office because he was doing another side hustle thing that he was enjoyed. He went ahead and he closed that office and he shut things down, and he made the transitions that he needed to make because that wasn't calling him really. He was trying to force it to happen, but it wasn't calling him. And he leaned into what was calling him, and the cash flow just magically appeared. Wasn't magical. He was tapping into that soul guidance. He was tapping into that pull, and it was pulling him and leading him and guiding him right to where he needed to be, to today, that he's going, okay, it's time to actually get serious about this and go, wow, there's no reason for me to basically half-ass this 9 to 5 over here because I'm no longer doing them any good. And sure, they're feeding me cash, but it's not really feeding me. Where in your life are you trying to force something? Where are you really pushing it? And something inside of you is going, this is no longer yours. This is not. It's time to move. It's time to transition. It's time to let go of that old version of you, no matter how much you might be in love with that old version, no matter how much you might love it, but it's time to let go, because if you are pushing it and trying to make it happen, then it is not going to ever happen. You can hang in there, but you're going to constantly feel like you're suffocating. You're going to constantly feel like you're in agony around it, and just basically kill the luster in your life by doing that. Or you can tap in and say, what am I getting called to? How is that moving me over here? And realize that you're not losing, you're actually gaining, because you're leveling your life up, because you're stepping more onto that path of destiny that you are being called toward. So there you go. That's my story, or stories of the morning. I want to just announce, I want to, number one, say hello to some new people on my page. So excited about meeting some new people and connecting and everything on that level. And then on that note, I want to also announce, consistent announcing, right? Until July 4th, I have free micro consults going. So 30-minute consults that I'm doing, which are phone and Facebook video chat-based consults, which are focused on just, putting together coaching programs and plans for you. What is that one-on-one VIP elite coaching look like potentially around different things that you might have going on? Yeah, and anybody who's been following me, you kind of know what I do. Of course, you can always go to www.kendalwilliams.com, explore a little bit more. I can also tell you that my whole page is going to be under construction here in the very near future, because I have a whole bunch of stuff as the summer rolls on. Much like my talk here, I am feeling this drastic pull to do some massive facelift changes on my page and just really update and level up to where I'm at here and let my outward expression of that be seen as well. But if you are looking for coaching opportunity, need some guidance in something, whether it is that relationship or business or something, know that I am doing free consultations until July 4th, just to help piece together that blueprint and see what I have that can potentially help you achieve exactly what you want in life. To have that, to access, tap into that fuck yes life. On another note, in 12 days from now, Addison Bell and I are headed off for our annual girls trip to Punta Cana, and we're going to be there for 4 or 5 days, just hitting the beaches, watching monkeys, sipping on coconuts with a little extra rum and stuff. But each day is also going to be focused. 3 of those days that we're there, we are focusing in on monetizing badass bosses, bringing passion, play, and profits into your life. And this is going to just be a killer workshop, really focused in for entrepreneurs, small business owners, mompreneurs, side hustle people, anybody who wants to really take advantage, learn some of the things that we have learned over the course of like everything that I've just been talking about, except in absolute detail, giving you the structure needed and really tapping into the things that we need to access that surrender, access that flow. Of course, here come the yard people, right? It's my neighbor's yard people. Sorry guys, but access that flow and really be able to monetize it. Okay, so we can monetize our passion, we can monetize our play, and we can create profits in our life in so many different ways. It's not just about the financial profit, it's about having that life that we're just thriving, that we're just turned onto, that we're so excited about, and we just feel so good about. And that is what this 3-day online global workshop is going to be doing. We're going to be teaching you from different spots in the Dominican Republic. You're going to get a massive amount of content because we both love giving content. It's just going to be playful and turned on, and we're going to give you all of these different things in this workshop. So day 1 is going to be about passion, day 2 is going to be about play, day 3 is going to be about profits. I encourage you, click on the link in the comments section. And here's the thing, we said that the first 10 people were going to get an additional bonus of $300, because last year I was in Jamaica and I taught a 3-day class called Ass in the Sand, taking your entrepreneur business from 0 to 100K. And I taught this whole class from Jamaica. It's kind of the same idea. And I decided that I wanted to give this class away to the first 10 people who signed up for Monetizing Badass Bosses. Well, I've just decided that we are going to just expand that out a little bit. I have not figured out a date that I'm going to discontinue that bonus. You know what? Yeah, I will. Well, I don't know. 12 days. Here, I'm figuring out the date right now, okay? So, let me see. How about let's go for the 20th. For the 20th, okay? So June 20th is the cutoff for the extra bonus on this. So anybody who signs up before June 20th will also receive Ass in the Sand, the home study course, because that's what I did. I created a home study course from that. So come June 20th, that will discontinue. Anybody who signs up after that will not be getting the extra bonus. But up until June 20th, if you sign up for Monetizing Badass Bosses, you're going to get the 2 workshops for 1. And I can tell you there is a ton of content in the Ass in the Sand, teaching you how to take your business from 0 to 100K. Or you know what, if you're already at 100K, which I hope you are, then taking that, of course, implementing those principles and everything I teach in that workshop to take that from 100,000 up to 2, 3, whatever you want to take that to, okay? Because the sky's the limit. When you're your own boss, when you're an entrepreneur, when you get into soul alignment and you get into that flow and that ease, you can make some serious shit happen. And that's the way it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be living an abundant, beautiful, joyous life in ease and really living according to that soul alignment. So I encourage you to explore that. For those of you who are not able to take that or not interested in that, there's a whole bunch of other stuff on my website. I'm always got workshops going on, local and online, of course. Some beautiful, beautiful stuff coming out. If you want that one-on-one coaching, click on the link for the micro consults, because that will be going away on the 4th of July. So yeah, I think that's good. As always, stop existing, start living. Thank you everybody who has been on here this morning. I really do appreciate your support and your love and your likes and your comments. And with that, please hit the share button as well. Help me get these messages out and impact the world a little bit more. And I will catch you guys tomorrow with another Conscious Coffee. Have a fantastic day, everybody. Love you.